Hello. This is a week of a President's Day, and so we thought that this particular time we will talk more about the history of wine and our presidents and ambassadors, and just kind of flesh out a few ideas about things. I'm Dr. Bill.
And I'm Ted. And today we're going to kind of talk to you about, at least the modern day history of wine in the United States, and more importantly, kind of the role that it's played, throughout our founding fathers and through presidents, going forward. A long time ago, Benjamin Franklin once said, in whiskey there's courage, in beer there's camaraderie, in wine there's wisdom, and in water there's bacteria. And we kind of believe wholeheartedly in that. So, always been a part of our history and especially a part of our presidents. Doc, you're looking pretty presidential today.
Well, in lieu of running, I thought I would imitate, to some extent, an interest in presidents and wine. For example, in early days, George Washington, for example, liked a dark ale. And thinking back, during that period of time in the American Revolution, shipping was pretty much confined to areas not British or French. And so he also drank Madeira. And then as time went on, we had ambassadors such as your friend Benjamin, and he was never more correct. And then there was Thomas Jefferson. We'd like to talk a little bit about Thomas Jefferson because I really feel like he was the president and the individual who really brought the appreciation of fine wines to this country. For example, did you know that he was ambassador to France?
I did not.
Well, prior to that, he was kind of like George Washington. He would drink beer, spirits, and Madeira. After his ambassadorship, in which he traveled to France and all of Europe, he developed quite a taste for, among other things, fine wines, and began to bring that and had quite a collection. As a matter of fact, started planting grapes of native species at Monticello. Really don't know much about how much wine was produced. That is the thing that, for example, an old bottle of wine stimulated a lot of interest in the wine market, even today. I mentioned to you a movie called Sour Grapes, in which it's about a collector and a forger who came in from Indonesia and started buying up large quantities of wine from an unknown wealth source and then began selling it. Bill Koch, you know of him. He actually bought $400,000 worth of Thomas Jefferson wines, which were found to be
fakes.
Right. Well, one of the tip-offs was the bottles were engraved, and for example, when one was engraved Chateau Lafite a certain year, the thing that really tipped him off after he paid $400,000 was that Lafite wasn't around then. He then subsequently spent $35 million investigating all of that. Once again, Thomas Jefferson and his association with wines came up. What do you know about some of the other presidents and their spirits, what they enjoyed?
Well, there's been a long history of associations with presidents and their love of alcohol. Everything from, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's love of Georgia peach brandy when he would go down and visit that area to, supposedly George Washington making essentially homemade hooch on his property, and even kind of the bringing about to the forefront of the California wine, regions in the Reagan era. But, you've always had presidents that have enjoyed a good drink, and most of them, I would say, probably need a good drink every now and again, trying to get this country at least to halfway get along and move forward doing something. So,
well, other than running a wine and spirit shop like you did for years, what job could you think had more pressure?
I did not many.
So nowadays, we've got the current president and the preceding president whose drink of choice is orange Gatorade and Diet Coke. Um, I'm kind of from Chattanooga, so Coca-Cola is dear to my heart, but not as dear as a nice bottle of wine. So, in honor of President's Day, we just like to make mention of those that came about and in ways to honor them for what they've done and brought to our country.
And whether you're trying to just get through the trials and tribulations of the day, or whether you're trying to balance the federal budget, or make, ups and downs and rights and lefts and everything else agree running the country, find you something that you enjoy, do a little investigating, and more importantly, enjoy it in moderation. And as always, if you are enjoying something, remember that key word:
Uber.
Yeah. Thanks.
One other caveat, and going back to Thomas Jefferson, is that John Kennedy, when having dinner at the White House with Nobel laureates of the Western Hemisphere, quoted, "Never before in the history of the White House have so many great minds, contributors to the universe, been in one place in the White House, with the exception of when Thomas Jefferson dined alone." So he was a pretty smart guy, and we appreciate the fact he brought the appreciation of fine wines to us. Thank you much.
Like, comment, subscribe.